Welcome back, everyone. This is the Paper Princess, and we are on page 2 of our Nature Notebook album. So I have my pocket page up here ready to go, and there's 4 flaps we need to cut. I kind of did this ahead of time because I was working something out, but I will do it along with you, essentially. So flap A is going to be a top flap, and that is 8 by 5 3/4. Flap B is 8 by 6 1/2. Flap C is 7 15/16, which is 1 line before 8 by 12. D is 6 3/4 by 4 1/4. Okay, so we have our scorer, and these were done, but I will do them with you. So flap A, you put the longest side facing the top, the 8-inch side, and just score 1/2 inch. B, same thing, the 8-inch side goes across the top. C, you have your 12-inch side facing the top, and then you need to score it 6 1/4 and 7 1/4. This is going to be 1 inch, and it basically turns out to be a double flap. I really like the way this looks. Okay, and our top flap is going to have the 6 3/4 inch side facing the top. And we make a couple of these in the book. Okay, so get this taped up. Basically, you're going to run 3/8 inch tape across the bottom below this score line. On the C flap, you're just putting it in the middle here. So just below this top score line and above this bottom one. So it's right in the middle. And these flaps, it's right across the top here on the linen side and right across linen or bumpy side if you don't have linen paper. So there's that. Sorry, I did that ahead of time. I just needed to work it out. So let's start with flap A, and that's our smaller flap. It's going to go across the top, so I want to take my number 2, and I am turning my page upside down now. Also, quick thing, if you want, so these A and B are going to be 2 top flaps. You see how they're going to lie? They're going to lie where the wider one's on the bottom. Take a look at it and see if you like it squared off like that, or if you might want to put a little rounded edge, because it is better if you're going to have a rounded edge, see what you decide, to do it ahead of time just in case you mess up. You don't have to take it off. So before you glue it down, think about where it lays and what you'd like. I use this We Are Memory Keepers corner rounder. It's got 3 different sizes, a 4mm, 7mm, and 10mm. I use the 4mm a lot, and the 7. The 10 is good for like graphic 45, those wide tags. You can corner round your paper that you put on top, and it's the same measurement as the tag. So I kind of like this one. It's 3 in 1 punch. You don't have to dig for punches. So I am going to use the small one. There is an advantage to starting off with a smaller one. If, say, you have your paper in here, it's nice and snug. I always kind of make sure it's in there snug. If you're off a little bit and you think you punch it and you make it wrong, if you just go up to the next size, it covers that mistake up. So it's kind of nice to start with the smaller side just in case. But basically, just feel and make sure you have it in there snug. Okay, and I'm going to do that for the top flap too, just a small. And this one is going to lay like this. So see what you think. I'm going to do the same thing here. Personal choice. Okay, I didn't do that on page 1, but if you want those corner rounded, you could go back and put a corner on those. So let's start first with A, and A is the smaller one. Peel this off, and I'm going to put A not quite in the center. I'm going to leave like 3/4 of an inch, I think, maybe about an inch right here. Yeah, 3/4 of an inch, say. So I'm going to line it up. It looks like it's the same all the way up, the same measurement, and I'm going to take my thumbs and make sure this flap here and the edge of my pocket page, I can feel them lined up, so I know it's on here straight. And basically it goes right to the end, so I like the way that looks. And now B will go under this. Okay, so now B will stick out. So now we're up to like having a 1/2 inch. You want to put this B flap under this score line so that this can fold over the B. So I'm going to look at this left and right. Looks like it's got even amount of space on both sides. Basically comes to the bottom of the page there, and I will let it fall, and it's just below this score line. So make sure this folds over, which it does, and then you can press it down. If when you're laying it down, you feel like it hangs off the edge of your paper, you can trim it, but that measurement seems to bring it right to the edge. Okay, so we've got our 2 flaps. Let's take flap C. So I am going to have, the shorter side is facing the right, and the longer side faces the left. It'll pretty much go to the end, not quite to the end, and we're going to wind up placing it right here. So that will leave us just about a 1/2 inch right here. So if you want, you can lay down a strip of paper right along the edge. I chose the blue. It's like I'll show it to you in a second. It's this pattern. You can put that down first, or you can just measure this. Take a piece of paper, take a pencil and measure from here to a little bit before there and cut that. It's probably easier to place it first and then take the strips off and glue them down. So I would recommend placing your paper strip here first and placing this on top. Okay, so I am not going to do that because I'm going to put something different here. I already made my book. This is going to be the bonus book. So keep that aside for now. And but basically that's where it'll go. This is going to come down like that. And now we have to figure out where our magnets go. Okay. So hold on one second. Okay. So this essentially goes right on top like that, and that is where our D flap goes. So I cannot put this flap, I can't glue it here yet, because I need to put the paper down. But I can put the magnet first. That's fine to do. What you do in that case is open up a new magnet package. And this is what I had to do on several of these pages, had these flaps on there, which means you gotta put your decorative paper first, but you do not wanna forget about your magnet. So what I did is basically take my D flap and I'm gonna put the magnet on the bottom. And I will tape it down. Okay, take the opposite magnet, put it there. All right, so here is our flap. It's going to be here. Basically, I'm going to take this, see where I want to put it. I've got just about a 1/4 inch on each side and like 3/8 of an inch top and bottom, and it looks centered to me. I can just take it, press down. That's where my magnet goes. And after I decorate this page, all I have to do is put the magnet on first, then peel off the sticky tape and stick it down. Okay, so that's where that's gonna go. And that's it. Let's put down a magnet. This is on here. Let's put down a magnet. For this, I'm gonna put on the ends here. I have just found that that is what works. And again, we know where it's gonna go, so we can pretty much line it up. I'll show you what I mean. So let's get our magnets on here. And then we have to line up where we're gonna be. Okay. All right, so what I'm gonna do, I'm just going to put a pencil mark right where this score line is, right here, because that's where it's gonna go, which it will have to be that way because it comes right to the end. It just has a 1/16 of an inch. You always want a little bit right at the edge. So this is where this will have to go. So right to the end. This is gonna come down, and this is gonna go and land right on the top flap here, the thinner flap, flap A. Okay. If you want, you could definitely tape down your blue paper first and then do this. So you can tape it down. I'm just doing it this way because I'm going to put something different there, but that's going to go like that. Okay, and now these, that's like that. These flaps, there's going to be, I'm going to put a magnet I can put one underneath here. That's going to land over here. This sort of saves you a magnet. If you had it in the center, you'd pretty much be right next to your other magnet. This saves you one. Okay. This is in here like that. I'm going to bring this down. All right. Tape that. And then I'm going to have this flap. I don't think it necessarily needs a magnet, but it might be nice just to have one there. So let's put one on this C flap. I'm going to do mine later, but you can go ahead and put one on your C flap. And I'm going to put one here going. Let me see if it lands right on here. Hold on one second. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to put one on B. It's going to all stay down nicely. Okay, so I've got my, it's going to be right here, and then I'll fold this over. And that is that. Okay. So I'm ready to show you how I decorated this page. That's how it'll go. Okay, so that's page 2. It winds up looking like this. Okay. So page 2, I chose the butterfly for that top flap. This is a chipboard piece. It says butterflies. You can see it. Flips up. I've got a strip of mushrooms that was left over, or you could put this blue here or the orange up here. Either way, but I put the orange flower paper here because it ties in the blue and the orange and the butterflies. I have the black with the butterflies and the script lettering here. The green, this is on the other side of the main page. So I had that on this top flap and then also in this 1-inch strip. So I don't have an exact measurement for this, but all you do is you take a piece of paper, say like that, and you just make a pencil mark where you're going to cut it, and top and bottom, and that's how you fit it in there. Okay, separates the black, and then it gives us the green, green, blue, blue here. So I chose that. I've got the blue here, which is the same as the pullout. I put a fussy cut of butterfly over here, and got the yellow with the butterflies and eggs, speckled egg. Same up there. And then these two, the black with the script, just go like that. Got the blue and the green. So the green alternates blue, green, like that. This is basically a mistake. I didn't have enough, or I cut it wrong. You don't have to put that there. You can just put this green going right across there. So it goes like this, and like that. Okay, so that is page 2. It looks more complicated than it really is. There's really only 4 cuts, 4 flaps, and that's it. The next video, we will be on to page 3. See you soon.